All right, just getting going here. Let's see. All right, welcome everyone to BCNDC. As always, please check out The Burn. Check out my buddy Brad every Friday night, 10 to midnight on 93.7. And yeah, so today, as you can see, I have a special guest. When I met this person, I met her as someone else, a different name, and now he likes to go by, I'm stuttering already, by Skylar now, and I met her as Mandy. So we're going to do today's podcast.
Already having glitches.
Having glitches
Totally
on her own phone, so she can't record. Oh, there we go.
Hey.
I know I'm kind of starting out a little rough here because this is my first interview besides my daughter, so it'd be my second interview, I guess, right?
Oh, I feel special.
So that's just kind of cool, though. I thought about my daughter being my first guest. I thought it was kind of a cool thing, but, yeah, no, maybe I'm just a dork worried about being a good dad.
You're a good dad.
At times.
And a good dad would have his kid first.
She's really excited about doing one again because now that she knows that I'm doing YouTube, she's really excited about being a YouTube star.
It's not working.
It's all good. It's loud, though, when it dropped. Let's see. I didn't say, my usual stuff, like coming at you from Bay's basement. I'm sorry, I forgot that, people. It's just probably the nerves of a first-time interview. So
Dance it out. Take a minute.
right? A little riders on the storm. Yeah. So where do we start?
From the beginning of time?
I was going to suggest how I met you. Probably be the easiest, right? And you can take over at any time and just let us in on whatever you want. It's kind of an open forum, like I've said before to other people. You can talk about whatever you like, and that's kind of the rule for me. It's just there's nothing off top or off subject. You can't upset me, or and if you upset
I'm gonna offend a lot of people.
If you upset the viewers and the listeners, that's I always feel that kind of stuff is kind of on the person listening. It's like if you're offended by someone else's words, it's usually about yourself more than it is the other person. That's my personal view.
Rings true.
Anyway, so I met you because when I first met you, you were dating my cousin Jamie. Has it been like a little over a year now? Is that about right? It seems like
almost 2.
Almost 2. So yeah, I'm bad at time. That makes sense.
Didn't meet you until like 6 months in. So.
Okay, there we go. And so, for my viewers and myself, when I met you. Just you can correct me at any time for any of the language I use.
Oh,
it's totally fine. So I met you, as I thought you might have been either bisexual or lesbian when I met you. I wasn't really sure.
Lesbian, I did classify, yeah.
Okay, and I didn't know that, but I just assumed, obviously, since you're with my female cousin, that you weren't heterosexual. Right? But at one point you had been, because you have...
I don't really think I've ever been.
Oh.
To be honest with you.
Well, that could be something we could start off with. It'd be great for the viewers because you do have children, and so people would be curious, maybe how someone that identifies or never identified as heterosexual has had kids, and so I guess the question would be, how would you explain that? Or if
it's more of an inner thing. In my mind, I had to appease my... I always thought that I had to be this person for my family because my mom always talked so highly about me being the female, the youngest, the last born, and I didn't want to disappoint her.
So it was a lot put on you to continue the generations. And
there was a lot of talk when I was a teenager about who's getting whose last name, and because I'm the girl, I'm the only one that can carry on like male descendants to carry the Carlson name or whatever. And,
gotcha. So do you still carry the same last name even though you changed your first name?
I have changed my last name, and I actually took my stepdad's name. Pretty sure my dad's not too happy about that, but...
What's your, if I may ask, your reasoning?
I changed it because it's not only more manly. I considered it an honor to take over my stepdad's last name because he's been kind of more of a a present figure in my life.
More of a mentor for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Someone you look up to more as a father figure.
Well, I mean,
and not to
I look at
disrespect
both
your
my
father.
dads
Gotcha.
as father figures. It's just they both did their part in equal different ways.
Okay.
And Carlson's not really one that I want to carry. It's just not.
All right. So I guess easy way to answer that is just it was kind of like a societal pressure put on you in a sense. And so when you're with men, it always felt unnatural to you when you were dating, even say when you were a teenager or
Yeah, it did feel weird.
Did you, sorry to interrupt, but did you ever date outside of males when you were a teenager?
I did,
so,
and I kept it low key.
Okay.
I used to have girlfriend sleepovers, and my mom was like, "Oh, you have all these girlfriends," and I'm like, "Little do you know," she knows now, but I mean, not from this podcast, but she knows now that it took her a while to catch on, but she kind of saw it coming. The male side of things really didn't click with her. Her and I had spent a lot of time talking about it here recently. She didn't see the male part of me. She always saw me wanting to be with my brothers constantly and being rejected by them because they wanted to do brotherly things like airsoft rifles, and they wanted to, play video games. And it's like, I want to play video games.
So
I want to go play with airsoft rifles.
You were always interested in those type of things?
Yeah, I was excluded because I was a girl.
Okay.
And that's not always... It's rejection. I mean,
right.
Any form of rejection. But it was the biggest rejection when my mom told me that I thought it was because you wanted to be with the boys, not one of the boys. And it's like, yes and no.
Right.
Like, I wanted both. I wanted to play what they were playing, but I also wanted to, have the brotherly bond that they had because I felt like one of the brothers. And it just felt weird that I was being excluded just because I identified as a female. So that felt wrong to me.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So it wasn't necessarily that you identified as a female, but as how we saw you, or how society sees little girls. They always see them the same. They're going to see them as little girls.
I'm 26. I
Right.
don't know if y'all can see this, but I look like a 12-year-old girl.
Well,
So-
looks are one thing, of course. I did an
Nobody
episode of
sees me as a man. Nobody
Right.
sees me as a...
But you feel that way
They
now.
barely even see me as a woman. I'm just saying, your daughter. When I'm with Jamie,
gotcha.
Is that your daughter? No, that's my fiance. But
But hey, that's a good thing. You got to look at it down the road, because that was the thing. My wife, she used to hate getting carded all the time, and now she loves it. So
I get carded. I'm like, thanks. Take my card.
It's just one of those things. Like be glad that you have young. You look young is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, but I look too young. There's a difference.
Well,
There's a definite difference.
I guess. I mean, there's been like I can't think of the famous person's name on the top of my head, but certain people that look
Keanu
younger.
Reeves, they never age. Will Smith never ages.
I don't know about that.
I mean, the wrinkles on Will Smith, like there's none.
Yeah, this is true. But I think Keanu's aged quite a bit. But personal opinion, of course.
I mean, aged physically.
Yeah,
but
gracefully.
Here?
Yeah, he has too. I mean, he's changed. But that's personal opinion, of course.
Right. Yeah. As is
But yeah.
everything in this world. Everyone's got an opinion, just like an asshole.
No doubt. I agree. So, like I said, I didn't really have too much of a real topic to cover with you, other than I was just gonna more or less just ask
Hey,
you about.
transgender, come talk to me.
Right. Well, the thing is we thought about talking before, because this has been recent. If we're to let anyone know.
Yeah, it's been like last month.
And so I guess that'd be a good question or transition to what I was thinking, or what I thought when you told me was, I guess what we're kind of covering is you felt, that was going to be my question, you felt this way your whole life in a sense, or it was a gradual build of recognition of like, I finally know now, and I'm strong enough, and I've dealt with enough to finally say, fuck it, this is who I am, accept it.
Yeah, that's it's been a bit of both. There have been little tiny signs along the way of, okay, I really shouldn't be thinking this way. Like, I'm a girl. I shouldn't be doing this. I shouldn't be thinking this way. Like, it's weird. You shouldn't look in the mirror and see a boy. Like, that does not happen. It's not supposed to happen, right?
Right.
Supposed to in today's society, right? So, Yeah, here recently I've been doing a lot of thinking about it. And that alone has pinpointed different things for me that's like, oh, I did do this. Oh, I did do that. Oh, I did this. Oh, okay, this is...
Like the arrows are pointing all in the same direction.
Exactly where I need to be.
So more or less like it's something that's been with you the whole time. You've been kind of almost ignoring it or stuffing it.
I've been pushing it aside.
Societally accepted. And I was going to say one thing about your parents, and not to take them off the hook, but I did a lot of thinking because on the last episode I started covering this a little bit. And I had a listener text in, and we talked about this, an older gentleman, and he told me, he's not old, but older than myself. Like I had to guess about 20 years. So, and he was letting me in on basically, why does that look funny?
It's the youngness in me. I'm 26, so.
Yeah, so he would be quite a bit older than you. He'd be 40, 40 years older. So
I apologize.
No, that's fine. Because it's funny to me. It's like I've been getting to realize that I'm not young anymore. It's one of those sayings like, for the longest time, I felt 17. I felt like I had the same vigor and attitude and those kinds of things.
Well, that's physicality.
Yeah.
But mentally.
Right, but then my body has been breaking down. So it's like. You start realizing that, the clock...
I have 3 kids. I'm 26. I get it.
Yeah, the clock gets everyone.
Yeah.
There's no running away from that.
I have gray hairs
no matter how
I
young,
have gray hair.
Right, no matter how young you may look, time is still going to kick your ass. Yeah, there's no getting around that. Something I do want to address real quick, anyone who's listening, is there seems to be a little bit of an echo. So I apologize for that. Maybe we'll try to do something in editing since we have a
Should I get further away?
person
I know
here
I'm really loud.
that can maybe help. But so I just wanted to address that real quick. And like I've told everyone before too, be patient with me. This is the beginning stages. So as it builds, it'll get better. But I'm just glad to finally have some guests. And I don't know if I told you, but I had someone else lined up for going to be the kind of quote unquote first official guest other than my daughter. And I did tell her today, I made sure it was okay with her, that I was like, hey, sorry, I was supposed to interview you first, and this will give me help though, because we've known each other longer, or not longer, I've known her longer actually, but I'd say better because of the relationship with my cousin. And I'm just
hung out a lot.
Yeah, I'm just embarrassed
a
of
lot
my
of drunk nights.
Right, I've been embarrassed of my so-called studio. So until
that's great. Needs a little work, but
so until I get it going.
The curtain is fantastic,
right? Isn't it? It doesn't look better than that wall, because that was the thing. It looked like a basement before. So
yeah.
Looks a little creepy.
Still kind of looks like a basement right there.
Well, hey man, my chair's hitting the thing. You can't really see it on camera, so it's all good.
So there's a glare, but I can see.
Always talking shit. It's all good.
You should have heard us before the recording.
I know, we were trying to... Well, that was the thing. We had some hums going like we do now, but the fucking headphones were like ringing, and they might come back. So a little bit. But like I said, I've never done the dual mic. Even when I recorded with my daughter, we just shared a mic. So it was a totally different thing. So jumping back, sorry.
I'm not sharing a mic with you. Sorry.
I don't think so. I think it would be appropriate. It'd be kind of weird because we'd be really close. And it'd be great for the camera maybe, but I think it might creep everybody out.
We get views, but not in the right way.
Yeah, no. They'd be like, oh, what's going on there? So, I guess going back to your parents a little bit, I guess I didn't ask if that's okay. So where did you first grow up? Because I know you've moved around quite a bit. So where did you
first grow up? It's more like I grew up in 2 different places at like 2 different times.
Because the parents were separated, or?
Yes.
Okay.
My parents have been separated since I was like 3.
Gotcha. So you don't really remember a time when they were together. So you're worried about popping your knuckles. It's all good. Like I said, my ankles popped on here before, and it sounds horrific, so it's all good.
Yeah, I was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't do that. Her parents' history, right?
Right, yeah.
So
it's okay.
I grew up in Phoenix and New York. Jesus Christ. New Mexico. The other new.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not so new. It's full of dust and. So, at my dad's, I could be a little bit more myself, and I don't want to give, his backstory away with that, but he's a big reason why. I can be a little bit more open with myself.
Okay. Gave you confidence?
He was within seconds, like, I'm on board. Like, if you need testosterone boosting, like, vitamins or, websites or whatever, like,
so you've told him currently?
Yeah.
And even though you don't want to carry his last name?
He doesn't know that.
Well, he might find out.
He knows now. Love you, Dad.
He's like, yeah, sure you do.
Right.
Asshole.
He's a good guy. He's a good guy. When you're growing up, you think your parents are like the most horrible. You feel abandoned. You feel hurt. And then you become a parent yourself, and then it's like, oh, I kind of get it now.
You kind of realize they were doing the best they could.
I would definitely
sometimes
spend more time at work if I knew I had an annoying little brat that liked to be up my butt 10 seconds every day. So I get it. But I also know that there's no manual for parenting.
No,
and
definitely not.
You don't know that when you're a kid. You think your parents know everything. They're on the ball. That, they got their shit together.
Well, you don't know any different,
Right.
And you assume, of course, too, being on other kids and being on other parental figures, that they have their shit together. So it's like this assumption.
No.
Oh, no. You didn't really see other examples?
The only other individuals that I saw were my dad's brothers.
Your uncles?
Yeah,
obviously.
I don't know anybody family-wise except maybe one or two people.
And
on my mom's
were they
side.
fathers as well? Your uncles? They have, you have cousins, in other words?
One of them is a father, yeah.
Oh, okay.
The other one is not.
And was he a good parent? No. Your look on your face, obviously. Sorry, I don't want to blow up your family, so
No, it's all good.
We can go off to do something else, but I just was curious about your early upbringings, because for me, I know basically my story starts from the beginning like anyone else's does, and that's the idea of like whatever happens to you and whatever you go through shapes you, what's the word I'm looking for? Forever shapes you, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It's just a part of you building blocks, you know. So
it builds your character,
yeah.
For sure.
But so New Mexico and Arizona. Mm-hmm. So
Dad's in New Mexico, Mom's in Arizona.
Okay, so when did you find yourself in Tillamook? How did that happen? Tillamook, Oregon, that is.
Yeah, land of the cheese.
Smells good down there, by the way.
Yeah, it smells like cow manure and ass all the time.
Quite a drive, about like a 10-mile stretch or so. You just
Oh yeah. There is a back road you could take.
Yeah. Well, there's a place like in Southern California that's like that too, near San Diego. When you're going to Tijuana, there's a good stretch of just. Whew.
Roll those windows down, puppy.
It's good.
Yeah.
If you're bulimic or something, it's a good time to puke. It'll just get it all out.
It's nice fertilizer.
Or anorexic, I'm not sure the proper term. Whichever one they do, the throw up thing. I think they both do that, right?
You're asking the wrong person.
Okay.
I'm transgender, not bulimic or anorexic. So.
Aren't they all the same?
I don't know.
Oh, they're not?
No.
Oh, okay. Just fucking around. I know they're not the same.
I am just one transgender. I don't speak for everybody.
That makes sense, because that's...
Everybody's story is different. Like, I mean, you talk about straight people.
Right.
Your story is not the same as Joe Blow's.
Right. Because Joe probably blows.
Yeah.
And I don't.
Well, we'll keep that off camera.
But, so anyway...
I ended up in Tillamook because I was in New York.
So let's go to New York then. How'd you get to... Was there any place in between the New Mexico, Arizona thing before New York then?
Damn.
Quite a few?
Yeah.
All right.
Not quite a few.
Do you not want to go through them all? Or you don't have to. It's totally up to you, obviously.
You let me answer the question?
No.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Keep asking your questions. I'll catch up.
Sorry.
No, I can keep up. New York was a rough patch for me. It was the state where my daughter was born. That's kind of the only good thing that happened to me there. Other than I got to see the Rockettes, which is, if you ever get to go, it's great.
You like seeing the legs?
The legs.
Is that your favorite part?
No, actually, it's Santa Claus.
Oh. All right.
Who doesn't like a man with a beard? Still working on mine.
So speaking of which, since are you taking anything?
Nothing medical yet.
Oh,
I am
okay.
doing vitamins like zinc and
So it's something you're
daily men's vitamins.
wanting to transition.
Yeah,
Or
yeah. My counselor knows about it, and the therapy is extensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they want to make sure, obviously.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They even try to change your mind.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
It's
well, you're in Prineville, so it's slightly conservative.
yeah. And what makes it difficult to be a transgender is to also be gender fluid. Do you know what that is?
I've heard of this, yes.
Okay,
My
so
wife's talked about it, and when I first heard out, no offense, but I said, bullshit, right off the stop.
No
I was
way.
like, because
There's no
how
way.
could you feel that you could change constantly? Like, I don't get it. So obviously you can explain to me, so this will help, obviously, because I was like, that
I'm
doesn't make
wearing
any sense.
men's clothing.
Right.
I'm currently wearing a chest binder. Those who can't see me, I'm going to describe it because why not? I'm actually wearing eyeliner today,
Okay.
and I had lipstick on this morning, but it kind of just wore off. I am more male and have more male tendencies than I do a female, but I do have female tendencies. I am like female and feminine. What's the word?
Or to be biologically terminology, I know a lot of people don't in your ilk don't like to use biology, which is funny to me because it's like, well, it's scientific based.
There's binary.
But you were born, quote unquote, female,
I'm
so maybe that's where
cis-female,
your
yeah.
female
Yeah.
attributes would come from, I would think, since that's kind of
Well,
locked in your DNA.
Yeah, but there's a huge part of me that definitely dwells on the masculine things. I sound like a 12-year-old girl who's never hit puberty. You know, when you get older, your voice deepens, even for females.
Right. Oh yeah.
Mine hasn't. Mine stayed the same since I was 13. So that would definitely make me feel a lot better if my voice was deeper.
Smoke cigarettes. That'll help.
I do smoke.
You
actually
might die faster, but your voice will get nice and rough in the process.
Well, there's a lot of things that make a
You can
voice
gargle
rough, but,
nails.
you know.
Yeah, I've heard that works. I saw it in a cartoon once.
Yeah, and then they didn't have a voice. They were kind of in that, you know, animatronic grave.
It's a possibility. You know, it's a risk you take. You want that
Risk you
deep
take.
voice.
I'm talking with my deepest voice right now. Like,
I can change the bass, and when you come
Bring in
across,
my
and maybe
deep
it would not
voice.
on YouTube, but on the podcast, you would come across as very deep. You could do that. I could disguise the voice for you if you like. Sorry, no, but
let's
I'm
not
being
do
an
that.
ass. Sorry. So people are listening, probably thinking like, "Oh my God, he's such a jerk."
No,
But
him
you're-
and I were BSing
right.
hardcore. Like, I've tamed down since the camera's been on. Like, he's hyped up. Like, what is this shit?
Well, the camera's more focused on you. I mean, I'm just kind of more
Hi.
interviewing you, but you know, so
Yeah.
you're kind of the focus. So I could
I'm
understand that,
trying
like the
to, like,
limelight's on you.
keep it in my mind that there are viewers that are only listening
Yes.
versus watching
Right.
what's going on.
Right.
So,
See, I'm the opposite. I'm used to just doing audio, and the video thing for
and
me
saying,
is totally new. I may say that often.
yeah.
So
you do.
what?
I listen to you. I'm a fan. I wouldn't be here if I wasn't a fan.
I appreciate that. It's weird to have to think that I have quote unquote a fan or any fans, because it's like
Yeah, I've actually,
I felt the idea
secret
of,
be
like,
told, I've been watching you since day one. Like,
I take that as a compliment.
I
but
knew
it's just
you were
weird.
starting your podcast, and I was like, when's this shit coming out? Like, I'm waiting. And
So did you listen to podcasts before?
no, I fucking hate podcasts.
Oh, why?
They're so boring.
Even Rogan? You
Yeah.
find them boring? And wow.
Yeah.
Have you ever listened to like Chris D'Elia's?
I listen-
Congratulations.
No,
He's funny as
I'm
shit.
more of like, let's listen to Rod Stewart tell a story, like
Huh. Rod Stewart?
Seth Rogen and
Rod Stewart. Someone that's 26, I'm surprised anyone knows who the fuck Rod Stewart is.
okay, so I grew up with old shit.
Oh,
like,
okay, your
like,
parents. Your parents influenced you, obviously.
calling my parents
'Cause you
old shit
didn't-
now.
Well, I'm just saying, I couldn't see a 26-year-old just going, yeah, one of my faves is good old Rod Stewart,
Oh yeah, Rod Stewart, man.
the crooner.
Howard Stern. Fuck yeah.
Well, Howard Stern, I mean,
Everybody knows Howard Stern.
they don't know him, but they know of him, I guess. Yeah, right. I've never met him
The old
personally.
man's
Maybe you
cracking
met
me
him
on
when you were in New York, but no.
Actually, no.
That would've been
I
cool.
actually did meet Johnny Depp once.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's a
but I
crazy
wasn't in New
motherfucker.
York. I was not in New York. He actually does not really like New York that much.
Did he tell you that?
Yeah. Yeah, he did, actually. We talked about it.
Did you sense how fucking crazy he is when you talk to him, or was it just...
He's actually really calm.
calm crazy? Because he's nuts.
I worked for a company called Fireborn Studios, and there was an actor that was running the business. His name is Jerry Giangelo. Hello, plug. So he runs his own business out of California now, but he was in New Mexico when I was living with my father. And he built this foundation of acting. He used to teach people how to act and be with the business. He's in some of the wrestling movies or boxing movies that you see on TV, like Rocky. That scene right before the main characters come out. Excuse me.
Like we're coming out of the tunnel or something. You mean? Or the ring.
They're focused on the ring, and the couple just beats each other up, and then ding ding, and then here comes the main characters.
Okay.
He's in one of those scenes. I just don't know which one. I never did research on it. Nothing against him.
You're such a good friend.
Really
you really know. Just fucking with you.
I have more research on your business than I did on his.
Wow.
But I was director of advertising and marketing. I started off as assistant director, which is kind of just fixing videos and editing and shit like that, which is why I know I'm here, because I'm also going to help you. So
how did you fall into that? How did you fall into
it was an accident, literally.
Was that high school type things? Or?
No, I actually was at a Goodwill. Mm-hmm. And I like looking at the old books, just see what's there. And I just happened to pick one of my favorites called The Giver. And if you haven't read it, it's a great story. And I bumped into a guy, and this is an older gentleman, and he's like, "Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to bump you." And the conversation just arose, and he's like, so what are you doing? Are you going to school? What do you do? And I was like, well, I want to go to acting school. I want to do this. I want to sing. I want to do all these kind of things. And he's like, let me drop you a name and a number and give him a call. And I was like, really? I thought this was the shit. This is The Voice. I'm signing up. Let's go. And I ended up calling him, and it was Jerry. And Jerry's like, oh, okay, well, let me set you up with an interview. And he set me up with his director of advertising and marketing. And I feel so bad for the girl. We were at Starbucks, and I was kind of showing her up. It just came naturally to me on, how she did the cards. And I was 17 when this all happened. So, yeah, ran into him into a bookstore. It was great.
So why didn't you keep with it? Did it?
He ended up moving to California, and he needed the people to go with him. And I had my firstborn, and I wasn't able to go.
Oh, but otherwise you...
Yeah, I totally would have jumped on that. I wasn't getting paid for it, but money was coming, and now he's making more money. I actually set him and his wife up, and they went married for 5 years, and... Yeah. They had a falling out, but that wasn't my fault.
So you still keep in contact with him? Or?
I try to, yeah. He doesn't know anything about my trans coming out, nothing. I haven't actually talked to him in a couple months, but...
So do you feel like you're going to go back into that field at some point, or...?
I don't know.
You don't know? Because, didn't we, I think I talked to you about aren't you going to nursing school, or what is it you're doing?
Yeah, I was considering doing my CNA. Getting my CNA done.
Which is?
It's actually proving to be more of a struggle right now for me than anything, because I have my 2-year-old.
Right.
And she needs more of my attention right now. So I may just be going back to school for cosmetology, which is where the feminine side of me kicks in. It's let's do hair and nails. Why not?
There's plenty of gay men that are great at it.
Right?
They're usually the best hairdressers,
right?
According to Hollywood, I guess.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's just what I see on TV.
Yeah.
I don't know where I was going to lead off next, but so we didn't get to the reason why you went to New York. If that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll kind of leave some stuff out, but long story short, I went from Arizona to Pennsylvania, where my grandmother was.
Wow.
I had a steady job in Arizona, and my grandmother asked me for help. And I was like, I need out of this city, I need out of this town, I need out of this state, get me out of this place. Because Arizona's hot as hell, first of all. And I was dying to pee. And she's like, hey, I need some help financially. Would you be willing to come down here and help me out? And I was like, family, hello, jump. I'm out there. And I did. I jumped, and I shouldn't have jumped. Got into some trouble with an uncle, and just leave that out. And
that's okay.
I met my daughter's father in Pennsylvania on a website that's not age appropriate. And
you mean you were underage, or?
No, just not age appropriate for younger age viewers.
Oh. Well, who cares? Like, what do you? I don't have underage viewers as far as I know. You mean like Tinder or something like that, or? Oh
no. This website is called Cam4.
Say what now? Cam4?
Yeah, you want me to show you?
I'm just curious what the metaphor means. Cam4. What is that? Like, gee, is it a porn type?
It's supposed to be.
I'm just fucking with you.
It's supposed to be a website where you can express yourself.
Okay.
Kind of like podcasts, where you can express yourself. And
Cam4 is the number 4, but CAM and then the number 4. Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. This how you met?
Yeah, I was one of these cam girls.
Oh, I gotcha. So, yeah, for those of you, you probably can't see it because of the reflection.
It's white. Yeah, it's a white screen.
Yeah. It's just people. Is that live, by the way?
They're
girls?
live.
Okay.
They're live videos. Yeah.
These were live girls, basically. Most of them in the lingerie or bra and underwear.
Or nothing.
Looked like, or nothing.
A lot
I
of
didn't
them
see
are
any
nothing.
Nothing, but darn, I guess on that
kept
page.
Scrolling.
So. So what made you?
So this is really dumb.
Sorry, I mean,
so
you don't have to
dumb.
cover it if you don't want to. But I mean, this is how you met your.
Yeah, it's actually really funny. Like, I'm not proud of the site that I was on because I was in a weird state of mind. Like, I'm like, fuck my body, fuck this. Like, I had a weird breakup in Arizona, and the guy and I still talk. Probably gonna send this to him and be like, hit you up, boy. So I was really, really messed up mentally, and mental disorder is not a fun thing.
No,
but you are well aware.
Right, but it's fun to make fun of.
Right.
As the person, because it just makes it easier. For
right.
me, it does.
And I make fun of myself all the time.
Yeah.
I'm very comedic that way. So I'm on this cam, and this guy keeps popping in every day. I'm on there. And I'm just like, why does he keep following me? Like, why does he keep, every time
Did you see his face, or you just see the horse?
No, you see when you log.
His third leg just popping in the screen, swinging around.
Okay, that's not really how that site works. So,
I don't know.
If you're on cam, you can go into private chat rooms.
Okay,
and then you can do chat back and forth. Whether
Squirt.
It's, sure.
Okay.
If you're into that.
Well, I would think that if you're getting naked on camera, saying, hey, anybody, I'm pretty sure the purpose is probably to...
Actually,
I would think.
The viewers pay you.
What?
Yeah, the viewers pay you. So you start off with clothes on, and they pay you, like, say, 25 tokens, and that's, like, $2. They pay you 50 tokens, that's $5. Like, I got a total of $85 on that site, only from him.
Huh.
Like, only from this person. And I was like, okay.
So that's kind of like a first date. It's like dinner and drinks, $85 or so.
Yeah, it was a very expensive date. Yeah, it was a couple of days added up. So this guy keeps coming in. And my tagline is tokens for songs. I dressed up in weird things and risque things, yes. I showed off the girls that are now, like, in hiding. It's fucking winter.
Almost, but yeah. It's fall, technically.
Okay, it snowed in Sisters, so it's winter. Of course, it snows in February, March,
just depends.
April,
Since you're Oregon,
May.
you never know. That's what I was telling the guy today. It's like, it depends. If you have a late winter, early winter, you never know.
Right. Anyway, so I have that tagline. He keeps popping in, and I'm like, okay, who are you? What do you want? Like, why do you keep popping in? And he's like, I will give you X amount of tokens to put your clothes back on. At the time, I'm thinking,
So he's game.
oh, this is really cool. Like, I'm getting a lot of tokens. Like, he really likes me. Then I thought about it.
Or he's just playing you.
Then I thought about it, and I was like, I could get really offended at this. Like, really, really
put
offended.
your clothes on.
Put
'cause
your
you don't
clothes
look
back on. Like, please,
oof.
like, you're fucking ugly. Like, put your clothes back on.
That's
I'm
like, dude, you can turn to someone else.
But I didn't think about that until after him and I had shared Skype. I accepted the money, and I have yet to claim the money. Like, it's still sitting on an account somewhere. Like, there's 85 tokens. Somebody's just random money just sitting there. Yeah, so him and I connected, and he freaked me out at first because he came across, like, really gay. Like, oh my God, hi, how are you? I'm like, hi, how are you?
And how old is he? Is he older than you? Or
Yeah,
younger
he's
than
older
you?
than me. He's 30 now,
Okay.
but he was 27 when we met. And I was like, oh my God, is this guy gay? Like, is he into me? He's like, can we be friends? Could I have gay friends? Like, this is fucking awesome, right?
Right.
Yeah, no, it went a little further, and he's like, actually, I was kind of interested in to know what your thoughts are about dating me. And I'm like, wait, hang on. Just a week ago, you wanted my advice on how to ask out your best friend of 15 years. And now you're asking me. Should have saw the red flags. Like, there were so many lined up, but ended up with him. Ended up in New York, moved in. My grandmother kicked me out due to uncle-related issues. And, yeah.
So New York.
New
What
York.
part of New York, if I...
The worst part,
Which would be...
the Bronx.
The Bronx, nice.
Yeah.
But hey, that's where rap started. That can't be that bad.
Depends on where you start in the Bronx. I was right on Grand Concourse, which is like the main street of the Bronx. I was in a little bit of a better part.
I've never
the
been to New
Bronx.
York, so...
For the viewers who may or may not be at New York, it sucked. It smelled like
And
shit all the time.
what year would this be? So
20 shit.
20 shit? I haven't heard that year.
Oh man, it's the greatest.
Yeah. So
You're
obviously about like
going
what
down
4
the drain.
years ago. So it would be like what 2015 then.
Yeah, 2015. I left Phoenix in 2015, so it was probably more towards 2016. Yeah.
Okay, so you meet this guy, and so at this point you're still sorry I haven't really kept any of the connection of like how you felt, from adolescence before teenage years, then during teenage years, and then after. Like, was there like a steady transition into feeling? Like you said, now you identify yourself as poly.
You ever seen Pan?
Pan, excuse me.
Poly is different, but
I
Pan.
did see Pan on your on
Facebook.
Facebook.
I'm not ashamed.
And I did look that up, so that was interesting. So it's basically you can fall in love with anyone at any time for any kind of just whatever you feel. Mm-hmm. I'm okay with that. I'm not questioning.
Yeah, that's right.
What's
That's
wrong with that,
legit.
motherfucker?
Yeah.
Nothing's wrong with it. So, which is interesting, but I mean, so...
It really, sorry.
So you could fall in love with... Sorry to interrupt you, if I may.
No.
So you can fall in love with a straight male, a straight female, a gay male, a gay female, a transgender male, or you could fall in love with
asexual,
anybody. It doesn't matter, as long as it's just a furry.
I had a furry once, yeah.
You've had a furry, so no, you've had a furry. So
I've had a
you took a
furry,
furry home on a leash
I
and
did.
fucked him? Is that what you're trying to say?
Her, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Did you give them a litter box too and all that kind of crazy shit and feed them in a bowl?
I did, however...
Pet them, and if they pissed in the corners, you beat the fuck out of them. And
No, I had a kennel for him, though.
A kennel.
Yeah, and a nice soft blanket and a
leash?
chew toy. Yeah, there's definitely a leash and a decal collar.
Entertaining. I'd
Very.
say. So how did you feed this animal, this furry?
This beast.
Yeah.
This manly beast.
Did you what kind, if I may, what kind of furry was this person?
It was a fox.
A fox.
It was a fox.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a very, very pink fox.
A pink fox. So
and you have to
very,
take them...
very naturalistic thing. So
You
it's Alice in Wonderlandish kind of thing. So we got a
Yeah,
pink,
that's
a pink furry fox. Was that her name, Pink Furry Fox?
No.
And was
Just
it
Foxy.
was her fox furry, or is that just too much? And was it dyed pink too?
No, it was not. And no.
Well, shit, that just destroys everything for me. Visuals just.
You're welcome.
Did you scissor back then?
No.
Did you ever scissor? Is that too rude? I mean, I'm being kind of smart
I've
ass.
scissored once, and it was very awkward. It was with.
Because I saw it honestly on South Park or something like that,
Have
and
you ever
I laughed my
seen-
ass off, and I was like, "Do they really do that shit?"
Yeah. Yeah, we do. So have you okay, so you've seen the meme of this big fat woman with her dog in her ass and she's posting signs, "Have you seen my dog?"
No.
That's kind of what scissoring happened for me. I was the dog.
My vision of scissoring is vag to vag. So how did your head? That's a hell of an attribute. How'd you do that?
She was very heavy.
Oh. All right. So you were on bottom. Is that what you're trying to say? Is there a bottom with
There
scissors?
is no bottom.
It's
You're
more
just
side to
both
side
laying
and-
down and literally you put two scissors together and you rub them. Like,
Is it? What is it? Does it work?
yeah, it does. It really does.
Oh my god, I'm getting
You have to like open the lips and everything.
Because I
and
could
then-
imagine two guys just rubbing their dicks together, just like.
Yeah.
I don't think that'd do a whole lot. Like sword fighting. I don't know.
No.
It just
No.
probably doesn't work like that. No,
No.
I wouldn't think so.
I don't have a dick, so I wouldn't know. But I can imagine no.
I've never tried it. Never thought about it till now. I'm not
Now
going to
that
try
I'm
it.
thinking, oh shit, I'm
Yeah.
corrupting him already.
I'm not going to go there. I'll watch it and see. Not in person. I'm sure we
You should
can.
try the anime versions.
I'm sure we can click it in there. I'm sure there's
You
plenty
should
of videos of
definitely
it.
try the anime versions. The anime versions are so much
You know
better.
what I'm really pissed off about? I'm going to sidetrack here like I always do.
Let's do it.
I had an idea that I was gonna do with my buddy Brad. I was like, "Hey man, you're the technical guy," and I had this great idea until then I looked up to it and there's already some out there, but not exactly what I'm thinking.
Okay, lay it on me.
So I'll get into it. So I think what it was is it wasn't too long ago. I was looking at some of the local crackheads we have, and why is
That is the biggest mistake ever.
why is that funny? They're just crackheads. But I was, I think I was watching one of them talk to themselves and do their thing, right? And it reminded me of when I was in Oakland and I saw this black woman, which I didn't know was a woman at the time.
You're so offensive.
Why? She was black. I mean, African American PC world. But I had black friends, and they were okay with me calling them my black friends because I was their white friend, so I think that was kind of okay. So anyway, we pull up to this. I'll tell a side story before I get to the other story, I guess, right? So anyway, we pull up to this stoplight, and we're in Oakland, California. And I
Is there any
had
other?
a good friend of mine sitting shotgun, and then our other buddy in the middle, he was from Prineville. So you can relate to this. This is like, oh my
Ouch.
God, 1997 or 8.
I can
sort of time
relate to
frame
this.
there.
What
So-
the fuck is that, bro?
Yeah, it was before you were born or something like that.
I live in Prineville, but
So anyway, we're at the stoplight, and there's this crazy person talking to themselves,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And that's the funny thing is, like back then we always thought that shit was funny. Now I look at it completely different and go, oh man, that's a person has mental problems and should probably be in an institute and getting help. But back then I thought everything was funny. So
everything is funny.
so this person was talking to themselves and having this full-on conversation, and they tell themselves, hey, hang on, wait a second, and just all of a sudden just fucking whips it down and just starts pissing all over the sidewalk.
Guess he had to go.
She, which
Oh,
we didn't
sorry,
know up
she.
in that point. It was a she that we found out pretty quick.
Squat.
Yeah. And so my buddy that was
Power
from
play.
Prineville that hadn't been out of Prineville or out of Oregon up until that point, and I think he was like 20 or 21.
Oh man.
And
Oh,
he
man.
sees this shit, and his mouth is probably open for like a mile afterwards. Like he just couldn't compute what he saw, and it made me and my friend laugh our asses off. So
There's
anyway,
steam coming off this piss and
well, it was
was
summer.
it in the snow? Oh.
So I mean, it's Berkeley, Oakland,
I mean-
so I mean, it's never really cold there.
That would have melted the snow like completely.
Yeah, it was pretty entertaining.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Anyway, your story.
so I was thinking about crackheads because, so yeah. I was just thinking about how they have, when they're really on drugs and they're just really fucking doing all those motions and
So like this guy.
kind of like that, right? And I think it'd be so rad to take videos of your local crackheads, mute whatever sound may be coming from them, and overdub that with old like 70s or 60s kung fu karate like sounds from the movies. And you can even make your own, like, oh, psha! And then you can even do like freeze frames where you can like do the air moves where like they're doing that in the air.
Oh,
You know?
you should also do like some slow-mo.
And then maybe
like,
they could fight their dog if they have a dog, and the dog could
fuck
like start
yeah.
talking and shit and be like the sensei and be like, oh.
Fuck yeah. Yeah, you
But
can
then
even do
I-
like some slow music and
Right.
they're like moving
Because
all slow.
I was gonna call it Kung Fu Crackheads,
Oh, fuck yeah.
and then I was like, oh, should I call it Crackheads on Kung Fu? And then I had all these different. Anyway,
That's great. That's a great idea.
and the wife's like, yeah, that's great. And then was like, oh, I better look it up. And of course, there was a couple, not exactly like my idea, but and they
Okay,
didn't.
so if it's not exactly right,
Yeah,
then it's still your idea.
I know, but you know,
So do it.
I
not?
don't know how. It's just
That's why I'm
I'm an
here.
idea person. That's all I do. I just
I'm
throw
here.
out ideas.
I'm trying to help
And that's
Brad
what I was
out
trying
from
to say. I was
afar.
like, I tell everyone else, like, "Well, what do you edit and stuff?" I'm like, well, even beside the fact that I don't want to, I don't know how, and I don't care to know how. Andy's always like, you're smart enough, you can figure it out. I'm like, maybe, but I don't want to, so it's never going to happen if I don't want to. So that's my thing, is like, that's why Brad was a blessing, because
Brad is awesome.
I would have never done
Kudos
this.
to you, Brad.
I would have never done it, and because I started to, at one point I started to set it up and I couldn't figure it out, and so I gave up, and so it sat in the boxes again for like about a year, and then I got
Should we
so
open
this
the box and do
the
it right now?
idea for the podcast for me was probably, it's been like 3-4 years old, and then I've only been doing it for what, 6-8 months now.
I mean the ones that are like forever old on your YouTube page that you haven't deleted yet?
Oh, those ones, yeah, from like a year ago. Then when I was up in the upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there was 3 of them, and I erased one of them because I realized I had named names and did some things I shouldn't have. But the other 2 I left on there. But yeah. But I've also talked about those things on the podcast, so I'm okay, I think.
Yeah, because doing it on YouTube is so much worse.
But I mean, those only
Nobody
had.
listens to
I
podcasts?
think before I did the podcast, so no one saw those. You know, no one viewed them. It's not like, you know, I put them on
Popping
there.
my knuckles over
That's
here.
okay. It's good sound. So, yeah. All right. So if we want, do you want to go back to your? I might as well, because that was the thing too. I was gonna say.
Break that ice. Don't do it anymore.
All right.
Just kidding. Go for it. Lay it on me.
We kind of talked about the gentleman. I said about the. We didn't finish that though.
Hmm.
About what he had said. Because when I covered the topic of what I said was, I don't understand. So you can probably help me out with this too, because I
Okay.
put it out there. I said, I don't get why people in the community of the LGTBXYNZLT and PO.
It's highly offensive.
Is it? Because you guys keep adding fucking acronyms. So I'm just wondering where it stops. You might as well just go the A to Z community.
I mean, we would add S for you know.
But why isn't hetero part of that too? But anyway, that's a side question. Because my whole thing is just like,
I just said we would add S, but you know, you
Oh.
guys are fucking assholes.
whoa.
Super judgmental, and we have to
No.
like ask you guys: is it okay if we come out of the closet?
I don't care
You
if you come
straight people
out.
don't have to come out of the closet.
No, but
Exactly, my
I-
point. It should be
Right.
to where if we have to come out of the closet as
Uh-huh.
all XYZ, you guys do too.
all right.
Today's
So
society
I have
is
to
so
come
grown-
out and say I'm hetero.
be like, Mom, Dad, I'm straight.
Mom, Dad, I like boobs.
Oh, good for you.
You know, am I okay as a boy to like boobs? Is that okay? And that's the thing too. I find that's kind of funny in today's era. It's like being a white male is the worst possible thing to be. It's like you're
think
definitely
so?
the devil and the reason for everyone else's problems. Is there so much blame going on for like white males? Because first of all, we're privileged, which I've always found extremely humorous. I was like, well, if I'm privileged, then
I guess I'm
fuck.
screwed.
Right,
I've got a
like,
biracial kid.
I would say that privileged stuff sucks, because my privilege was being abused and molested and all that good stuff.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's a hell of a prize for being a white male. It's like, I appreciate it. Thank you. You know.
Thank you for giving me a little insight on what I'm about to walk into.
Yeah. So and that's a cool thing. You get to get blamed for everything, which I find out. It's like,
Yeah, I found that out the hard way. I tried to get with
Mm-hmm.
another transgender. She was male to female,
yeah.
and she's like, "Well, you better get used to
the
the
girl
fact."
in Texas.
Yeah, she's like, you better get used to the fact that you're the boy or you're the man, excuse me, and you're going to be wrong all the time, because even when I'm wrong, I'm right.
And she told you this?
She flat out told me, yeah, she was
kidding.
kidding.
And this is why you guys are kind of on it. Are you dating still, or
No.
You're not?
We've actually taken a step back. I was super hormonal. I hadn't had a cycle in fucking 4 months. And then I totally raged on her and hurt her.
You mean a cycle as in just normal female,
yeah,
monthly, whatever, bleeding is what you're trying to say. So you haven't in 4 months. And is it because you're doing the hormonal stuff?
It's because I'm changing some of the stuff in my body chemistry, yeah. But it's not the actual testosterone, because I'm not on that yet.
Is that dangerous? Just, I don't know.
No, it just sucks for a little while because your body's trying to adjust to new vitamins going into your system. Like, I know Jamie, she runs high on testosterone, and I wish I had that. I run so high on estrogen that when my body had a lot of testosterone in boost, like with the salads and the vitamins I'm taking, my body was just like, what the fuck are you doing to me?
Right.
So, yeah, it didn't react very well.
And it's Jamie's is like natural, is what you're trying to say more?
Yeah, I wish I had her goatee. Like,
right. Because it's
sorry,
like,
Jamie.
when we look at Jamie and my other cousin Jan, it's like, there's no debating. Mm-hmm. For me, it's like, they don't need to come across and tell me they're gay. It's like, I can tell. Or they're lesbian, whatever the proper term is. But the point is, it's like, it's, not to be a dick, but they wear the uniform. It's like, I make fun of some of my, I talk about the uniform as not just maybe a gay uniform or a lesbian uniform, or just
they wear that specific
a butt
uniform.
rocker uniform, or whatever you want to say, like a metalhead. They have a uniform, right? Like, they wear black shirts, right? And they all do that, kind of thing. So it's like, there's somewhat of like a, what is it? Whether it's misplaced or not, but it's that, is there someone coming down?
Oh.
The labeling.
Your ears burning?
I guess we do.
Right.
So how long have we been recording? Looks like almost an hour. So we can, since it sounds like we might have other people wanting us to go, we can make this a two-parter and then continue up again.
Sure.
It's up to you. Yeah, probably. You have a kid you got to put to bed.
Nay.
Yeah. So do we. It's a school night. But it was just nice to at least get this far. We can pick it up where we left off and go for more, and maybe if I put this out, we can have people tell us what they would like us to talk about.
What questions you guys want to ask,
exactly.
Or whatever. Yeah, I'm pretty open.
On
we don't really
sides.
stay on topic that often.
No.
And
I don't plan on it, because that's the thing, is like a natural conversation doesn't.
No.
And so it's like, it's not scripted. Yeah.
It always goes crazy. And I'm glad you didn't script it, because that would have just felt weird.
Yeah.
I can't be
I
goofy.
I wouldn't even know how to
scripted.
do a scripted thing anyway. I'd fuck it up constantly. So.
Right.
All right. Well, I guess.
Well, thank you for having me on here.
Of course. I'm going to play a little go out music for fun.
It's great to see you guys. I haven't seen you, but.
Oh, it says I have no internet connection, so I guess I'm not playing the song on the way out. How's that?
I can pull up YouTube.
Oh, there we go. I got it now. Whew,
little
thank
reboot.
goodness. Yeah. So, I'm kind of stalling here because I'm looking up the song, aren't I? This is what I'd always do.
Yeah.
This is where you're supposed to help me out and pick up the slack. What the fuck?
So, yeah. This is
So-
BCNDC with the greatest showman ever.
what is today's date? We should give him today's date. It's like October something, right?
October 23rd.
October 23rd. And
so this is
you can help me sign off. We can do the whole, do the thing. As I always say, like...
we didn't plan this. We didn't script it.
No,
so we're
not
doing
at all.
this freelance.
And I'm going to start playing Michaela's song. Let's see if it comes on here.
Again?
Well, again, I didn't play her song in the beginning. I played The Doors.
Oh.
Yeah, so now here's Michaela. Anyhow, she's single.
That's my ex is sitting right there.
Jamie, she's singing. But I don't know if she's into trans or gay or lesbian, though. I mean, I think she actually likes straight hetero men, unfortunately. Sorry. Well, if you fully transition.
Well, we'll talk about that. You guys can ask me about that, too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's do our sign-off. So what do I always say? I always say if you need mental health, seek it out, right?
Seek out help.
And then if you just want to talk to a friend, you can always call me, right? The 241 8866. So I didn't give out the prefixes, which is 541-241-8866. And what do I always say? The other thing, right? That I love you all. And until next time, take care of yourselves,
all right.
and have a good evening, good day, good night.
Take care, guys.
Take care.